I had 2 months of $0 coming in. 0. Not a little, not a slow drip, 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 nothing. And at the end of those 2 months, I booked a vacation. I know. Stay with me. Here is something you need to know about leaving corporate America. There's no transition period, no offboarding, no soft landing, no gradual handoff from one life to the next. At least there wasn't for me. On a Friday afternoon, I was a national sales director with a paycheck, a benefits package, and a title that I had earned over 24 years. And on Monday, I was an entrepreneur with a business that had gone completely quiet. By the end of October, nothing had come in. Not one yes to an offer, not one scheduled session, not $1. And I'm a numbers person. I'm a salesperson. I run projections. I look at the patterns, I do the math. And the math was not mathing. I sat in the middle of the discomfort though. I don't panic. That's not me. I simply allow myself to feel it. I talk through all of it with my life coach, Ana Gaeta, who has been walking alongside me since before this business was even a thought. And I asked myself the hard question, or maybe she asked me the hard questions. Did I make a mistake? Because I had options. Before I walked out of corporate America, I had options within the company I was working for. I had options outside of the company I was working for. I had options in the industry. I had options in other industries. I had opportunities to go back into sales management, back into sales. I, I said no to all of it on purpose because I knew that was not the path God had called me to. And if I went back, if I followed the voices that said, out of love and comfort, stay where you are. Finish putting your son through college, like stay. I would not have been true to my heart, to my spirit. But sitting in October with $0 and 0 clients and voices in the back of my mind reminding me that I had been advised to stay in corporate America a little longer. Stay in corporate. It's safe. It's secure. You've built a history. You've got a reputation, a good one. I felt every single one of those decisions all at once. And then November came and it happened again. $0 and 0 clients. And here's what I did. I went back to the same process. I sat with Anna. I buckled down on my identity, not my business identity, my God given identity of who I am. I am a child of God. And what do I believe? I believe I was called to do this. Is God my provider or is a company my provider? The company was not my provider. They were a tool used by God to provide for me and my son. To me, there is a real difference. Was my faith in God or was my faith in a paycheck? If my faith was in a paycheck, then the paycheck leaving should have sent me running back. And I chose not to run. I don't run. Not like that. I chose to believe that what looked like silence was not the same as abandonment. God had not abandoned me. Then my mom, a very wise woman, said something that I really did need to hear. She'd actually said it before, but I wasn't hearing. But when she said it a second time, it kind of stuck in my head a bit. She pointed out that I had not stopped, not one time. I went from the last day of corporate to building this business without a single day off. So I did the thing that probably made no sense to anyone, and I did not explain myself to anyone. I don't need to do that. After 2 months of zero revenue, I took a vacation. 3 days in La Jolla, California. That's about a 2 hours drive from home. I went solo. Solo vacations are awesome. I've gotten used to them. Just me and God and the ocean and peace and quiet. I did not bring a to-do list. I went to get still. All right. I did bring a little to-do list. I'm an A-type personality. Um, I did unpack what I was carrying. I did sit still with God without the noise of my day-to-day life, without other people's voices in my head. And I went to unpack what I was carrying and to hear clearly without the distraction, even of my own fear. And in that quiet before Christmas, something settled. It wasn't a plan, it wasn't a strategy. It was simply peace, the kind of peace that stays with me. And with that, I buckle down. It's your turn. Write down the question you are most afraid to answer right now about your own life or your own life journey, especially your career journey. Then ask yourself, is the thing you are afraid of, is it actually happening? Or are you simply afraid it might happen? Because fear lives in the future and God lives in the present. He is I am. God is I am. And if you trust Him with your present, your future is safe. If you trust Him with your present, your future is safe. Tomorrow, I want to introduce you to the woman who has walked every single step of this journey with me from the very beginning.